Hello traders and welcome to this new Bitcoin technical and order flow analysis video. We have new week starting and I think it's really wise to prepare a solid trading plan for the rest of the week. Some scenarios which I'll be showing you can play out on Wednesday. On Wednesday we have FOMC day. I think it's going to be pivotal day for the markets and for the world. It's very possible we will see very strong upside on the FOMC day or very strong downside. It will depend on the how markets are positioned into the event and also on the future Fed projections, how they want to increase rates, if it's going to be slower or faster. So yes, you need to have plan going into the Wednesday. It's possible market will see some pullback because market participants will be de-risking ahead of the news event. We already because you always watch when Europe is opening cash and when New York is opening cash, when US, yes. And we've seen since the Europe started trading, there is like continuous downside on Bitcoin and crypto. So European markets are taking profit on crypto ahead of the event. In today's video, I'll be starting with the technical analysis first, and then we move into order flow, and then I will have some macro remarks as well, so you can be prepared for the Wednesday FOMC. So we should be starting now. So let's go with the technical analysis first. So I think, from here we were building day trade long, then it becomes swing long. We were continuously buying on the pullbacks. We had some shorts as well. So very good. I don't want to go over trading in this area. It was fully covered in our trading group for the past week. Now we will focus mainly on Friday, today, and moving into the future. Right now, market completed a symmetry target. Yes, you always zoom out and see how is market moving on the symmetry basis. We can see the largest, the biggest, once we went into the 112k, we've got the 9% move to the upside, which also got accepted into this previous range. That was 9% move, and right now we also we are pushing to the upside with less velocity than this upside, and we also reached almost 9%. So I mean, from symmetry perspective, you hit some nice targets already here. And I see this is one of the reasons, because you have multiple reasons we start to range here and we possibly go for the pullback. But you see, you reach the symmetry, right? So 9% symmetry, you take some money off the table, because last time we've seen a pretty solid pullback. In case Bitcoin return backs to highs, you can watch another symmetry target, which is going to be 11% move to the upside. So from this point, if we get there, it's going to be somewhere around 119k. I would really like that in the end, later on. It doesn't matter if we get it today or on FOMC or really later, but if you get such move, you would also fix some weekend highs. Let me show you what I mean by that, because day of the week is extremely important, this indicator where you will just turn on the Saturday and Sunday, so you watch the weekend price action. Because weekends ultimately are creating gaps, and weekends, liquidity from the weekend tends to be run. You can see here, weekend here was, the longs were taken out. Then we went into the swing failure pattern. Weekend here, then shorts got squeezed. We never squeeze those longs. This can happen in the future, when 110k is taken. So it's target, and now Bitcoin was returning back into. You remember that massive pump? Yeah, it was the easiest long for the past few weeks. We went into massive longs here. This was news event. But then we gave up whole of the move to the upside. We went for the massive pullback. Yes, this was many people getting destroyed. And you see right now we are now still trading and fixing that weekend inefficiency. Okay, so and in the future, just want to tell you where to have alerts if you don't have as much time for trading. But definitely I want to trade this high here. I want to trade. This was actually not happening during the weekend. It's from Friday, but it's going to be really good because it's gonna stop out people from the weekend. And then you have another weekend high here. So these are two very pivotal highs to watch in case Bitcoin returns back to highs and starts pushing to the upside. So you will watch for potential swing failure pattern of these highs. But for now, it's not looking as that likely. But let's say, my videos, yeah, they are order flow is gonna be very actual for today. It can change in few hours on tomorrow, so you have to take it as it is. This is why it's very hard to give you so many predictions, because based on what I see, that's what I am telling you right now. So day of the week, this is what is going to be our interest. we can see like from the let's go just further. I will not be switching to, you know, to Orderflow. I want to do that later. Summer range. So that's you know, here was my range I was expecting a Bitcoin to be during summer. Then we went for the deviation out of that range, almost 1-to-1. And you see we've had like huge, like massive targets were hit here from previous bear market and bull market extensions. Everything was hit here. So of course we've seen a very strong move to the downside. You can notice one more thing. There was a fractal from previous pullback. When we did all-time high swing value pattern, we went for 17%. This time we went for less. We went for 13%. So this was like not fully completed, but still it gave us like very strong move. Again, those 13% from all-time high swing value pattern. This already played out. As you see, people started taking profit. We've seen a big support from the previous range. I just want to show you one thing. So just from visual perspective, you really need to, like, if you want Bitcoin to stay pretty bullish, you want to stay above these lows. Yes, you see this is now like visual bottom of the all-time high range. This is the last range Bitcoin has. Now we don't talk about AMT, just from market structure perspective. You want to be above this. Yes, you want to stay above this. You want to retest this and stay above, reclaim this and push to the upside. If you want to keep really nice structure. If you lose this area again, we will very likely rotate again this lower portion of the range. So for me, this is going to be crucial backtest in the future in the 113k, 112k, just from this perspective. And now let's go for the market structure so you will see this better. I was last week I was reminding our traders this is going to be the next strong market structure resistance area. You see market was bouncing here many times in the past. In the, like, when we started rotating range, we rejected again here and here. So two more rejections happening. This from support switch to resistance, and now this is not a surprise. We are seeing like market ranging, yes, thanks to this market structure. And you know, just view market not always as a leverage. You know, you had people who bought the top here on the spot market, so they need to get out. So you have some sell side, but also bulls which were holding a swing trade from here or just day trades. They also hit targets. Yes, it was like another target area. So you have multiple reasons why market is ranging here. So on the pullback, I will be watching this market structure. This is more naked one, and then I will be aware this is like larger market structure. Yeah, so you can watch like both of them. I will be adding that on the chart, but this is more since 28th of August, two rejections here. So we pretty much want to see if in case Bitcoin goes for the pullback, and this is what I like to watch, this fractal here. When you have a series of higher lows, we know there will be nice liquidity just below these lows. So you want to pretty much take that final low. Yes, feel some of the inefficiency, grab a bit of liquidity because there is liquidity below these lows, and do this, yes, and bounce. So that's what I will be watching thanks to this market structure. And you need to combine this now with the AMT, so it's better visibility for you. We can turn on the high volume nodes as well. Look, look, AMT is probably the biggest changing strategy. I like every single time I introduce AMT to our traders, to new trader or to older trader who is using it, they improve trading drastically because AMT is working on any most of the asset classes in the world. Again, Bitcoin is ranging 80% of time, so you just must master, and you need to understand where is Bitcoin ranging and why it's pushing in the impulses, where it's gonna stop. Very crucial developments were happening here. We were trading, so you can view this as a 2 weeks range. Yeah? It was not perfect because we, you know, we went for the upside, then we went for the deviation. We had a standalone range here, and it deviated from this low pretty significantly, but I still made this main pull and started viewing this as a range. It would be much more ideal if you would do like something like this. If you would actually extend here, do new volume, then it would be even better pull, but it doesn't matter. But what like super important thing when we are building longs was finally this big push here over the 2 weeks VWAP. So we've seen, because look at that, yeah, another range which was happening here for 7 days was giving us 1, 2, 3 rejections, and it was actually building liquidity, yeah, above. Why we are building liquidity? Because if you come here, you see we didn't do swing failure pattern out of this high. we didn't do swing failure pattern out of this high. So, you know, people will have stop losses, liquidations, and, you know, buy limit entries above this high. So this like 2 weeks of price action, this is your market makers preparing for the upside potentially. They are just building liquidity, and the volume was not even that great. So you need time to pass. So the breakout is really strong, and then fuel of the shorts is gonna be driving push to the upside along with the spot bits. Okay, so and market was showing me with the 7-day val, it's like this range will be very crucial because the whole world is paying attention to it. So we were watching it. We've seen pretty good push into the high volume node. You see, we actually went like there was like very small consolidation. Did we have? I think we had like I think this high was reacting. We had some scalps in there, but generally we reclaimed the point of control and high volume node. So your final targets for the push to the upside was the 7-day VAH, where people will be taking profit based on the range rotations, where people will be looking for shorts, and when distribution is going to start, because you've completed target, you completed the mission, range is rotated, off you go, you just range. So, and today was really good. We can go over this from the group. Let me show you, because so this is what we are skipping. Just want to show you that today was really good because we've hit like Friday high was over here. We went for the just above the high, and session naked point of control from New York, like very old one, was stopping market up there, and we started to do swing failure pattern. You know, swing failure patterns, they offer you the best reward ratio trades. Now, second thing was happening here. We've seen fresh longs into the highs. They were getting trapped. Not a bad delta. It was not a big volume, but still people got trapped. So you've got the like order flow setup as well with the swing failure pattern. And I think the main pullback from that high was the profit taking on Bybit as well. Like very large positions were closing past few days. Lots of longs were building on USD Tether Bybit, so they closed. They sent market down. And another very good thing, so yes, we watch the liquidity. You see how market is eating it slowly. But another thing you watch, and you watch this template. So when you are coming into the highs, you see like spot is actually driving price higher. We've seen some of the bullish CVD, like very, very local ones. So spot sellers were getting absorbed. But once we hit that area above Friday high, there was final push. This is like local EPA because you see large delta spike and spot spike. Forced buying combined with the trapped longs at the highs. And from that moment, the spot buyers were not there. They were just selling. And there were no bullish absorptions like here. Yeah, you see how much delta you sold here. Yes, but you haven't moved market much. And now, after you went above the Friday high, nobody was willing to beat the market and stabilize the price above the high. Yes, so you see spot is selling not even big quantities, but it's steadily moving price lower. And delta on perpetuals were also really helping. So those big longs from weekend and Friday, they were taking profit here, so nobody taking any chances. And now just spot is going sideways. We are also ranging. We've got a long from here as well. Let me show you. My play was very simple. I had a few limit short entries here, but the biggest position, actually I doubled my position here, so it moved me very significantly lower. On the Friday high, this was more of a, I was not even on PCF. I think I was still sleeping here and I was filling some of those positions. But when I come to computer, I added two big size, like two main size. I was taking profits on the way down. This is take profit 1, 30%, 20% take profit 1. Another take profit was taken in the walls. Then I was going long. Just want to show you trading which was happening today. And I was also telling, okay, we will go over Orderflow a bit later. Let's just not just deviate too much, okay? So from AMT, we are hitting targets. Now, if you want to see, like, so let's say you are in swing failure pattern short from this area, right? What you want to see now is to lose the high volume node. Needs to be lost, and you need to lose the local range. I think local range is lost for now. Like market is trying to reclaim into it. But we need to see confirmation from after cash open anyway, because New York session is the most important. But right now, you are getting local range. Our traders, I think few scalpers are already scalping this. I was scalping this low as well with the help of the buyers, but you see for now we keep rejecting. This needs to be reclaimed. If you are in long from here with the walls, this needs to reclaim, and then you can target the point of control, fill the inefficiency. This is less volume here, so market will have easier time moving. You see the order books are still trying to stabilize. Oh, look at that. So now you see the people are actually pulling the walls and they're pushing them lower. It actually started here. Yes, that push. But we can go over that in the order flow education. So for now we are rejecting, we are not getting acceptance into the range. Needs to happen, so we see rotation. If it doesn't happen, we'll open road for deeper pullback. So this needs to be lost, this high volume node, and then we can focus on revisiting this smaller range here. But again, I would prefer these lows to be taken, and then 2 weeks VAG is gonna be with this market structure. You remember I was showing at the beginning of the video, very interesting area for future stability, because market often does this. Yes, it goes here, taking out this liquidity, and then it's gonna range like creating new range and then pushing up. That's one of the scenarios. If we see much larger moves to the downside and acceptance below 2 weeks VAG, you see what happened here. Yeah, here and here you see this is very, very strong impulse, and it's there is lots of inefficiencies in the move and low volume. So I think market would be trying to fill whole inefficiency, and we better stop here, because this is the end of that fair value gap and efficiency here. So this is like, you want to bounce definitely from this zone. If this is lost, I think we will be retesting. First we need to get acceptance into this 2 weeks range, and then we will be thinking about retest of the 2 weeks range. Point of control, high volume now needs to hold on a bullish retest like this box, yes, for higher time frame turns. And we have liquidity here as well, so these lows you can also watch. And ultimately, if you fail here, then you will be watching this low into the 2 weeks val. That's going to be another opportunity. So yeah, when you are shorting here, when you're already in short here, you already prepare and watch where will be signs of weakness or signs of strength from AMT. This is limbo box. Yeah, you see here not much volume was traded, and here only how much, like 2 days we were spending here. So it's very logical when market loses this area and goes down, it might actually create new range here, yeah, and fill this with the volume. So that's what I'm watching for today. But we will need confirmation from New York Open, and how I want to see how New York is trading. So we will see. Medium time frame, another layer which you need to watch. So this is the thing. So market is trying to get acceptance into the 6 weeks range. Yes, here there was like nice, like we spent some decent time above it, but we are unable to hold it for now. And the more time you spend below 6 weeks val, the more you open road for deeper pullback. So you see how you now combine things together. If you lose local range, if you lose that market structure, like you are ejecting right now, and if you start going below the big walls and liquidity, and below 6 weeks value, open road for much deeper pullback, because ultimately you failed to accept into this range properly. And this was happening during the weekend. So not like right now, all markets in the world are open, and markets without weekend are telling you they are not accepting into this range. So make sure to take into consideration what is happening in the weekend and outside of the weekends. Yes. So for now we are moving away from that range. How you want to see like moves to the upside is, it's going to be more on about VWAP into this range, especially like to retest 6 weeks POC is at a good or that weekend high, I think. So you will actually not trade the POC directly, but this high together with it. And I think anchor VWAP is telling another story. It's like completing the whole picture for the AMT. So from 11th of July, we are tracking volume. This is tracking volume on the all-time highs. Basically, when you get above this anchor VWAP, you will attract more people who were buying Bitcoin in the July, in the August. Yes, you will like alleviate pressure on the market. Right now, I don't see very good acceptance. Like, do we want to see more upside? Yes, that would be fantastic. But what we need to do is to come above the anchor VWAP, start doing new local range here, or just start slowly uptrending, accepting, and then you will get another impulse. You need to reclaim this anchor VWAP. It's literally last anchor VWAP on my chart. And you see why the distribution is happening. So anyone who were longing in, because this, I was telling you this is like very nice support. Like it's very big wide band, but it's still support of the medium time frames to high time frame. All the key anchor VWAPs were like converging there. They are tracking the big uptrends, yeah, like this one. Look at this one. Yeah, so this one is tracking the tariff lows from 75,000. So extremely important VWAP. We've seen we deviated below in the past, so we know market tends to deviate, to grab the liquidity, destroy people, and then reclaim and hold. And this time it was perfectly holding us. So this is like very wide area. But right now, people who were buying, who are trading just VWAPs, for example, they are distributing out on this VWAP, yeah, because it's last resistance from the VWAPs in this area, yeah. And we've seen, do you remember 2 weeks range? So the very good thing was happening here on the Wednesday when we breached finally the anchor VWAP from all-time highs, because this is the first like strong signal you need to do. Breach all-time high downtrend VWAP. We've got the reclaim, we've got the retest. It was holding perfect. We were aiming for higher targets. Yes. So yeah, this is still resistance. We need clear acceptance, and it's not like you can take some more profits on longs. And again, I was using this area as like for the shorts, for the Friday short, for the today short, no problem. Reclaim this on good volume, and we can see much further upside, because again we will be above last anchor VWAP on our chart. By the way, my trade area is very precise. Look at that. So this was first one, second one. We were building day trades here for swing trades. There was another trade area here. Look at that. But you see, I'm not always precise. But again, it's zone. Yes, market deviated above me a bit. Yeah, we've got even this first reaction. But again, it's area where at least you get that nice reaction on the initial touch, or you get the range. So trade areas, and because big traders needs time to fill position. So in the end, my trade area, it's still proving to be at really good spot. Again, it doesn't matter even it went over it a bit. Yeah, it's area where I look for trades like in general. Yeah. So this one also decent. Now let's have a look. Order blocks, for our order blocks, they have the highest win rate from all order blocks. But key things to remember about order blocks is they need to be at the pivotal highs and lows, like this one. This one is not so great, yeah, because it's still after the impulse it was created. But this one, for example, is great because it happened after the pump. And it can be potentially stopping us and creating us expanded range in this zone. This was additional confluence for your trades. It's just bonus, you decide on other things, but it's nice to see you have order block on your side from that area. Okay. Balance zones. I don't think I was tracking any local pull on the balance zone. Only the big ones. Yes, we hit target of the 1-to-1 of that. We still have composite point of control above us, above this high, so you can mark it in a chart. Good. That was beautiful how we held the 7-month VAR here. Beautiful, which was helping us to the upside. Just want to check one more balance zone, because that one is which one was it? This one. Yes. Need to turn on everything. Yep. Because I was talking about this pool a few times in the group. This is very good pool, again, those are extensions from tariff lows. It was predicting where we'll be spending most of the time. Here in the pink box, when we were building longs here, I told that traders it's very likely we will stay ranging in this pink box. You need to lose this low again, so you rotate the larger red box, which is going to be targeting 100k. Yes, but you see, we reclaimed this precise level at 113k, and now we try to build new range above this box. So again, if you want to see Bitcoin really bullish for the rest of the week, we need to see pullback, but the pullback needs to hold in this area and build new range here. And then we will be positioning ourselves from the extremes of the range, and we will go with the breakout. So this is the power of the balance zones as well. And as we are not moving as much on the high time frames, I think we can now move to order flow analysis, and I will be combining it with the macro as well. So we can start with the Exocharts. So very locally, I just want to remind you what was happening today. So I explained you earlier swing failure pattern today, and I told our traders I will be looking to get some scalp long in this area with the help of the walls. Just want to show you the order flow which was happening here first, so you can learn a bit. So I've seen the prices moving to the downside. These walls were cancelled actually, so it seems like the entity was trying to build position elsewhere, but at the lows we started to see the walls getting filled. Yes, this one was filled, and this one as well. And you can see market tried. This is exactly moment I was going long right of the week. I've seen the first wall is getting breached, and I was also watching order flow in the Exocharts here. 47 million wall. I've seen very high negative delta. Yes, you should really move market down on such negative delta, but in the end new longs were coming in because the open interest was increasing and the walls getting filled. So I actually was taking very aggressive scalp long here, and I've seen market tried taking out the other wall with 300 bitcoins, but we managed to take only 40 bitcoins from that wall, which means this was exhaustion of the market local. There was not enough power to take out the wall. And as we started pushing into the week, and when we trapped shorts into the lows, somewhere here I went into the long, very aggressive one, and I hidden stop loss behind the wall. So invalidation was like super tight, let's say, because sometimes I'm looking for these exact sniper entries. That's what snipers do. Let me check. So from here, I think it was just 0.06 stop loss, so because market volatility was not even that high, so very tight stop loss, and I got rewarded. Initial move to the upside with the 0.40 to 0.50% is really minimum what scalpers are looking on Bitcoin. So I've got that take profit one covered exactly. And second entry, if you were missing, because I was actually right after entry I told that traders I'm in. You've got the second entry here. Again, the entity is, by the way, is very likely same entity. This is by experience and by watching market every single day. But if I zoom out here, very same walls, like similar size and structure, and they are close together, were filled here on Friday. And actually I'm seeing this 300 I call him for myself 300 Bitcoin guy, because he constantly places like 250 to 300 Bitcoin walls, and he's placing multiple of them. He's trading like 2000 Bitcoins in total, and he's very good in range trading. It's maybe entity, I don't care who is this, but mainly he is trading the range. He's exhausting market very like decently. Even here, yeah, he filled the orders here, then he's trying to take profit just from here. This is the weekend, market is coming into him. There is not enough volume during the weekend, so people are longing hard. This was super easy long for you. Again, but I was not trading 15th of September. Yeah, this is during Asia, I think. Yes, this is Asia, so I was sleeping here already. I would otherwise trade this full range rotation with the entity, and now it's more tricky because we continue bouncing, but we are trapping longs at the highs, so it's not ideal. Market is like bears are trying to defend. They want to stay as below daily view up today, so the daily candle is looking very bearish and reversal like. And people are getting trapped at these highs, so you have to, like, when you are longing here or with these walls, you have to take very larger take profit one in this local range. So mainly scalps here. It would only become day trade, I told our traders, when you would be pushing back above these highs, because it would reclaim back into the 4-day val, which is right here, and you would be feeling some inefficiencies. Yes, so you've got another entry with these walls here, and again it was scalp, but again scalp to scalp 0.40%, 0.50%, and now we already have 0.9% move. Not bad, really not bad for London. London is usually boring, you know, they are reading newspapers and drinking their tea. Right now at least there was some nice action. Plus again, this was absolutely fantastic short from the high. Yes, look at that. This was short from the like swing failure pattern, and the reward ratio, like stop loss here was 0.3%, but the overall move now is 1.80%. So that's 6-to-1 reward ratio trade based on a full range rotation. So again, you can be long from here already after take profit one, and you can be short from here, like core position, which is aiming for lower pullbacks. But we need to, it's battle, you know. These guys, they still want to get filled and they are trying to stabilize the market. Again, I wait for cash open there. It's gonna show us more. Mondays are very crucial for market. 65% of time we actually start trend on the Monday. This is alone very powerful to know. So in 50 minutes I will find out. 40 minutes. Okay, so what you can do for today, definitely watch how you will interact with those walls. Ideally, again, you trap people, because again, we were trapping some nice shorts into these walls here when I go to Exocharts. This was the second retest. You see very nice absorptions, 40 million wall, filled, another fresh shorts, and you see market was continuously absorbing here. And then we push to the upside, but again, you see how FOMO longs arrived at the top of the local range. They got trapped as well, and they neutralized like that breakout. Yeah, so now people are trapped at the highs of the range and at the lows of the local range. So not ideal scenario. They should just let this on the spot market, but again, leverage messed up. So you can watch that, and you can watch this new cluster of perpetual walls if you want. And you need to have really good order flow reversal to trade this, because again, if you lose this area, it can signal us much larger pullback, again, because there will be so many signs of weakness from AMT. So you better be careful. You better know also the liquidity. So you see, this is the weekend, yes, and we see already, like, we haven't done much pain to the weekend traders yet. Only start of the, I mean, the main pain for you is still over. Like here, this needs to be taken. Those perpetual walls are clever because they are placed in the liquidity. Maybe they will absorb the forced selling and they will push to the upside. So this is a new pain point, and to the upside we have still plenty of liquidity from higher time frames we are returning to. You will watch this one. This is very likely connected to the previous high. Yes, it is. It might, like this liquidity cluster can give us tight swing failure pattern out of the 22nd of August high. I'm watching this, and moving above we have another high and even larger liquidity. You now focus, maybe you get standalone swing failure pattern from this high, but if you don't, you will focus on these final highs here and on the full liquidity node sweep, and then you might get that rejection. Moving into this area is inefficiency, so again, you need to be careful after you grab liquidity to get hammered back into the range on strong volumes and EPA reversal. Otherwise, you can feel this. Yes, this was very strong move down, and it's possible. And where is like a larger time frame liquidity on the for the longs? So we know here are the weekend traders. I need to go like this so we can see it. Let's go to 5-minute time frame. It's going to be easier. Refresh. This is this is another liquidity cluster you can watch, and these lows as well. Not even sure why it's not much liquidity built here, but below this low we also have some nice liquidity. So good. That's what we can watch there. So based on the order books, you can also watch above this high. We have 117,000. We see there is a defense on Binance perpetuals here, so 117k can offer future potential another swing failure pattern in case New York pumps us. Yes, you can watch this. And other than that, we will need to see for the new walls as market is developing, because that's what I'm seeing. Spot market is very obvious here, but I want to show you this more from TRDR, why we are ranging, why we are getting into potential pullback. We will go to TRDR now. This is offering a much better analysis and visual clarity for you. So you can notice the look last time at the top, right? We had yellow bands, but where were these yellow bands coming from? Coinbase. Coinbase was much more bearish up here. Coinbase has the highest win rate on those bands, right? 117,000. Last time we were in, the Coinbase was more on the sell side than we are right now. But the column, which is second column here, 0 to 5%, which is measuring all the limit orders above 5% above the price or below, it's making you the ratio. The aggregation, which is all exchanges in the world, is pretty solid, like solid bearish on the spot markets. I will be showing you another template and you will see this more clearly, but now you need much more volume to continue higher. So Bitcoin is having two options when it's facing such a sell side from passive market participants. We usually go into range, and by the way, knowing when you go to range is crucial in your trading so you don't fight the trend. And second thing is you can get pullback. Okay, so both options are on the table. You see how pressure was still not so large when we were here, but now the pressure historically is pretty strong on the sell side. Only I think FOMC can produce such a massive volume that they can breach pretty much any wall if there will be like some crazy in the world. But yeah, we will talk about the FOMC at the end of the video. So yeah, sell side is here, and the perpetuals 2.5 to 5%, they are like neutral. Let's see, 0 to 5%, I think they're actually positive. They're positive because we continue to see those very close perpetual walls. So perpetuals are trying to hold the market, but maybe they are trying to hold the market only for spot sellers to fill their orders, right? So you can think about it as well like that. But you know, when we are longing here, look at that, like everything was very bullish. We had so many bands. So, you know, I'm getting retired in 1-2 years with the TRDR, and this is the power of it. Very clean supports here. We were just going with the order books, and now sell side pressure is increasing. So it's time to take some profit, definitely on like longer positions. Just remember, I don't trade only with leverage, but I trade on spot. Like I trade hot Bitcoin, I call it, where I'm focusing on spot as well. And it's good to take some money off the table here as well on the spot a bit, yeah? Thanks to this and thanks to the pressure. Let's go further. Aggregated delta. We already had a pivotal event here, like lots of people who were shorting into the lows for the past, since 25th of August, we've had huge thresholds getting hit. But let's focus now when we bottomed out. Here, 1.5 billion aggregated delta. The culmination of the move was happening already earlier at this push. Already people getting punished here, so you pretty much spend lots of fuel already in this push here, and this isn't just bonus now, yeah. This was 12th of September, so this is Friday, yeah. So Friday already, you know, spend lots of fuel. Then we did another high, and now we are ranging. So you pretty much like fuel from shorts burned out. People are taking profit, and now you see also weekend had not much significant aggregated delta. So this is another reason you've completed this symmetry, yeah? So when people were shorting into the lows, you finally, or you can even view this more locally here. When we've seen the pullback, there was also like pretty strong sell side. Now you did the symmetrical move of 1.5 positive aggregated delta, yeah, billion. So people already getting destroyed. And now on top of that, you use liquidations to know if actually I'm talking truth or not, because I can talk about aggregated delta without open interest or without liquidations, but you need to these other templates to confirm. And you see the huge liquidations were happening in this candle. So this is the final, like this is people who were shorting in this uptrend or just generally trapped at lows, they finally got harmed and capitulated, like capitulation was happening because the liquidations are very high, yeah? So again, you spend fuel, and again, you now reached another target. So it's not a surprise for me, market is going into range and potentially into the pullback, right? So very good liquidations. And like future longs, when we'll be looking at supports, I want to see like again very large drop, very large liquidation, similar to these. So it's gonna be pretty exhaustive. Aggregated open interest, look at that. So open interest is going just like sliding down. Past few days, market participants who were building positions from 2 weeks range we were in Now open interest is decreasing, and they are using weekend retail traders to just dump on their heads. It's very likely now. You can zoom in. You can know who is closing more, but we can see now delta is going down, open interest is going down. This was very large decrease. Lots of longs actually closed here. Yes, we've seen huge longs here. Yeah, so very likely some people who were longing here closing here. They are closing positions for obvious reasons. We have FOMC on Wednesday, so the money needs to be taken from the table. That's another reason why we range. Nobody wants to risk after we have FOMC behind us. Okay, so we see open interest was very steadily declining. The delta was increasing, so some shorts covering was happening here as well. Some maybe shorts from higher of the range. Here delta is increasing, the open interest is increasing. You have people who are longing into the highs during Asia session. Now they are getting destroyed. So this was like, this whole move down was mainly longs getting wiped out. So I really loved my short here because I knew there is nice fuel for that. Fuel is burning. Yeah, and we can watch for the full open interest round trip. You can mark this line here in our chart, and you can watch this line for the full round trip, or you can watch even this line. Yeah, then market will reset fully, more like locally. One more tip I want to give you. It's a well-known thing for our traders in the group, but use tools which are giving you options to use base denomination for your open interest. This is only proper way how to watch open interest. If you don't have this on, very different results on open interest. If you have this on, the market will, like open interest will not account for the contracts increases. So for example, when Bitcoin is going up, yes, the open interest will naturally go up because the contract value is appreciating, the asset is appreciating. Now if I turn this off, look at that, much better increase in the open interest. And here is very different story, right? So when Bitcoin price is going down, the contracts is also going down, so it's gonna show as open interest is decreasing. But if you have this option turned on, it's gonna show you only new money entering into the system. Yeah, so this is the best way. That's what I like on TRDR, is covering all the markets here. So base denomination you must have on always. Let's go now to CVD. CVD will do from Agra. I will just refresh so I don't see any bad data. So yet again, over the weekend, very low volumes on spot market, very low, like perpetuals were trying, only leverage was moving market pretty much, they were getting destroyed. Here is that big delta push, people getting trapped. Right now, since the top, again, I was telling you, the people are not buying on spot market, nobody's buying, very, very steady sell-offs, yes. No absorptions because delta is going down on spot market, and the price line is also going down, so they're firmly locked together. Right now we see a bit of bullish CVD, but the market is still looking pretty weak. Yeah, we have these walls here. We will see why, because market was selling here. It made lower low on spot market, but we didn't took out this low. Another big selling. But we are now locked with the price. So spot is not buying. That's what matters here. It was a bit of buying here, but it was not sustained. So if you wanted to see actually take profit too on your scalp long here, you needed more spot sustained buying and less leverage buying and less leverage getting trapped at high. So everything, so it's not ideal here. It's like divergence. Yeah, spot is selling, perpetuals are buying. So perpetuals trapped at highs and spot is trying to destroy them. Okay, so not ideal locally, but things and flows can change on a cash open because ETFs, yes. I watch ETFs every single day, how they are doing, and like last week was really great. We've seen almost every day inflows here, just 23 million, but like Friday and first day, actually Wednesday, huge and big inflows into the Bitcoin. Look at that, over 500 million on each day. That's very good. So there was some nice ETF buying. Ethereum, and Ethereum was on 12th of September was huge inflows day. Let's return back to TRDR. So, and if I'm like, it's good to watch spot market on like a bit zoomed out. We see constant distribution. Look how like constantly going down on the spot market. you know you know why you see constantly spot CVD going down, because we are pretty late in the cycle. I'm thinking we are in second portion of the cycle, where people who are buying now whatever asset, they will get trapped ultimately when we get recession or like secondary bear market. They are like people who bought Bitcoin in the previous cycle, or at the beginning of the bull market, they are continuously distributing on new blood which is entering the market. That's why you see constantly moving down, and we've seen this on the on-chain. When I go to on-chain, I'm seeing like very old wallets woke up, like wallets from 10 years 15 years back. They are selling their Bitcoin constantly. So yeah, you need a lot of institutional demand to actually overcome these ancient sellers. Yes. And you see one problem what I see here when we just looking at the CVD here. Move from 114k up to here 116k. Now we need to turn on these columns. I will be watching here. Yes, so we move from 21 billion from minus up to 18 billion. So 3 billion aggregated delta was entering from this zone. Yes, here. So what my logic is, if you start coming down and you come below this line, is very likely you will outstretch the move to the downside further. Yeah, and you will then go for this low and for this low, because these late, we can call them late buyers, like where they were when we were at 108k, when they were at 109k, 110k, nowhere. They just, I don't want to say it's FOMO, but it's late, like they are vulnerable. Yes, and I'm looking for vulnerabilities in the market, so I don't do some bad decisions. Again, if you trap that delta, it's very likely you will do delta round trip of them. So, and then you will watch for this delta to drop. You will come into the initial point of like when they started buying, and only then when you do that, when you come here, you will reset the market, and you will maybe you will end up here, and then you push, and then you push. The perpetuals will be out of the market, and then spot is gonna take over. Yeah, so this is what I'm watching as well. But we need to go, like we already did first damage, yes, for that delta. You see we already are like they are already in pain. So I want to see market moving. I just need to hide this so I see where we are. Yes, here. So we need to stay below this low first. Yeah, because lots of delta was coming here, and then come where the initial impulse started. So you need to, like, if you want really your short from all-time high, from Asia high, from London high, so this swing value pattern short, if you want to see much more like if you want to see more profits, you want to go where the delta round trip stopped and below. So here 114 to 70. Yeah, move below and we can see some nice force selling and beautiful move to the downside. This is just prediction from order flow, yeah, and from the delta. How is the delta positioned in the market? That's how you build a complete picture. So I will be watching for that as well. Let's go further down. Here is the template. When we don't get very significant bands on the template, then we can still use this to compare for previous thresholds. Again, what I was seeing here, I was warning already our traders on Friday, we are seeing very similar thresholds when Bitcoin was topping out here, and actually even here. Yes, here actually it was higher here still, but we've seen a larger like similar thresholds when Bitcoin was in 117,400. So, and then we went for the downside, right? So we still know that there is lots of selling pressure here. Only thing we don't see is the perpetuals are not cooperating. I think if perpetuals would be adding more salvos here, like many of them, instead of buying here, I would say we would already be in the deeper pullback. But they are still trying to stabilize the market. But spot is not bullish here. Spot is on the sell side, yeah. Plenty of sell limits here. And you will see that here. Yes, when I go to other template. That's why I made this order. Like if I go by template, everything makes sense for me and I can prepare for the week. So we go for number 7. This is now Binance. Binance is doing 70% of the global volume, so 65. So it's absolutely crucial to know what is what is Binance doing. So you see Binance spot market heavy distribution starting actually from this area, from 117 up to 125, yes. And you see the buy side is like we have buy walls, but they are smaller than sell side, which is causing that imbalance, and that's why we have sell bands, yes. When I go to this Binance, you can clearly see when we are longing 108k, then pull back, and then 110k regions, like here, it was really good invalidations. The order books were not so thick. Yeah, they were pretty empty. We've had walls, but they were not big, like 50 Bitcoin. So not a problem for Bitcoin to push. Plus, we had whales stabilizing upside. But now, Bitcoin actually, I don't want to say it's coming for trouble, but you see, like it's very thick sell side here. Like it's much harder for Bitcoin to push higher. And if Bitcoin sees that, there are again two options. You either range, you can exhaust yourself, or you go for a larger pullback because people are not willing to buy into the walls. So that's what we are seeing right now. And I will need to use other templates to see where is the spot bidding. I will also refresh the Okotoki because again Okotoki I use every day. Configuration, which is always turn off cumulative, and let's return back into this template, and we'll now go to other one. Let's see aggregated spot market. So sell side is lurking 120, that's logical, and then 118,000. You can watch those areas in the future, and big sell side at 125k is going to be future barrier, but again, not likely we reach it. And you see how like it's very the walls are much smaller than in the past. Yes, I need to go like this. Many smaller walls are right now in the market, so there is like lots of indecision, I would say. You see, this is still very strong demand node, 108,000 down to 105. Doesn't matter, these people disappear, they can return when market comes to them. This is how we stabilize down here. Yes, you see, beautiful. You see how here they were signaling large sell wall, then we've got the pullback. Everything is very nice. How is the funding rate? Funding rate went, last time it went negative here, but then we moved down anyway. So less reliable. Negative, people overshorted, but they actually got right. Is neutral, like funding rate not so important right now. The walls still holding. Yes. Local swing failure pattern here into the walls. People, local traders like today, London traders, and now it's also New York traders. They're just scalping these walls for now, and they are working what they've got. They're trying to get risk-free, and then yeah. So you've got another entry if you want, but again, Bitcoin is not suitable for scalping every day. Like here, you need to earn for the fees first. I prefer to have larger volatility. This was okay, but here again, is much better when volatility is higher, which means the main focus of you should be trading New York session. Okay, let's complete the TRDR analysis, then we talk about the FOMC, and then it's going to be done. Here is the swing trading template. We can clearly see the thresholds, because here I'm tracking only, I think, Binance and Coinbase thresholds. Why is BitGet? They are not making much anyway. Coinbase and Binance, yes. So we can see those higher time frame traders still distributing. Now selling pressure is starting to come to very similar regions when we are here. You see one thing you can clearly see. Selling pressure right now is minus 253 million on the spot markets on Binance and Coinbase, and is actually higher thresholds when we were at last time above 120k, which means that's why you're getting these very wide bands here. The sellers move their orders into the lower regions on spot market. They want to be filled sooner, so 117, 118, 120, 121. So very is interesting pressure, and 0 to 5%, very similar thresholds as we are having here or here. Yeah, so generally this template is telling me it's very likely Bitcoin will continue distributing in between 125k down to 100k for the next few weeks or even months. Maybe At the last quarter, of course, we can get massive pump on crypto if everything goes well, but you still, again, you also need to take some money off the table if you are a trader or investor here, because you see many people want to take profit in these regions. Yeah, and it actually stopped us in the past. Like all the big ranges which are forming for few months, they were, they were happening thanks to these ancient sellers and also from previous markets. Yeah, like there is a lot of distributions happening here, yeah. But this template is still really good. Like here we've got the signal for the swings, double bands. That's why it's swing template ultimately, right? Yeah. Zooming in a bit. So for me, today is going to be very simple. Again, with the I already told you. So I'm looking if Bitcoin comes to rotate this local range again, above this high, I'm looking at this perpetual cluster, which is starting at 117 up to 117,500. Very strong defense of the highs, and now it's not going to show you because it's removing 1% from the price, but we still are having these walls here which is trying to stabilize the price. But outside of that, if this is lost, we don't have as many big walls. The next one is here at 113k. You can watch is like a cluster, and spot markets, as we said, we have market is more fragmented big orders into smaller orders. Yes, that's what we see. The strongest support on the larger pullbacks, this area here, 112k 300s. This area is actually below this liquidity, below these lows. It's gonna fill inefficiency when market comes here. Is end of the impulse. Well, it makes sense to actually bid here. Not pretty smart people. And this is so you see this is the perpetual market. Look at the distributions. Yeah, so if you think Bitcoin is gonna be rocketing up to 125k, yes, sure, can happen, but it's less probable scenario. It still need time to chew, like it needs to chew over those walls. Yes, takes time and lots of volume. On FOMC is possible. Yeah. And finally, whales template. I absolutely love this template. For example, so last like when we are longing here, I was going into some longs as well with the whales. Last week they were building, not even last week, for the past 10 days or even 14 days, they were mainly focusing on longs. You see how they were trying to take profits. Here is that whale I was explaining you. He filled lots of orders on the on the Friday, and now he's taking profits. It doesn't yes, maybe he will exhaust the market and stop declines, but in the end, if he's not new position and he's going to just take profit, market will slice over him. So this is what we see. And when you have this template, again, you had easy long here. Like earlier, you already would be making nice profit when these people showed up. You had scalps here, and now is a battle. Yeah, now is a battle. We need to trap locally if you want to. Like New York session is gonna make decisions about this, but we need to trap more and more shorts in these areas. More shorts are actually coming in, and then you will get that pump. And the spot market needs to come. And if you lose this area again, as I told you, we will open road for much lower moves to the downside, and spot market is not bidding as much as it should be. It's like empty order book a bit. We can have a look on Okotoki now. Where are the strong clusters? Look at that, empty spot order books, very empty. You actually don't need much volume to crash the market down. If we have books like this on FOMC, I think we will see crazy volatility on Bitcoin. We can easily move few $1,000s, right? 110k defended, but it's not big. Like order books are empty. Everybody is scared, I think, before FOMC. But you see, there is more sell side on the perpetual markets when I compare to buy side. Yeah, buy side is not as much interested to buy in these regions. Yeah, look at that. 105k, that's far away. But sell side is more thicker. Yeah, more thicker and on all exchanges. So that's why we are seeing. We don't see the bands, but we see the thresholds. 120k future area of defense, very strong, and very locally 117k. Like if you want to know those exact levels with the walls, you will watch for today. 118k also very interesting. Final words about FOMC. My view on FOMC is like this. Everybody in the world is already long on equities and crypto because they expect the Fed is gonna lower rates and is gonna pump the markets. It means everybody is on the same ship. Yes, if Fed comes, lowers the rates. That's pretty much like markets priced in the such thing. Fed is gonna lower the rates and it's gonna give us future guidance. If there will be some facts market don't know, like if there will be more cuts into the future, I think we can see the pump first, like algos will pump the market. What I worry about FOMC day is we see the pump, but then we will see like the buy the rumor reaction. We often see that on the news events. So market is already very long into the FOMC, is going to buy that rumor, is going to be bearish, dovish. But if we don't see big pump on that day after FOMC does everything what should be very bullish for the markets, we can see the sell the fact reaction, so market can get into the pullback. And again, historically, September tends to be very volatile month, and we see we see pullbacks during September. So maybe FOMC can actually give a stop in the market and then we go for the larger pullbacks. I would welcome really on SPX or ES1. I would welcome 5 to 10% pullback would be fantastic, and then I can buy the dip for the Q4. But we might not get it maybe because the Trump already crashed the market. Trump already crashed the markets, and yeah, we already got the big crash. This was like super recession, like super fast, yeah. So we might not get it, and then we will just continuously going for new all-time highs. And because many people were left behind, they sold everything and they are just returning back to market, sadly on the all-time highs. So just watch carefully. I will be doing analysis on FOMC for our traders on Wednesday. I will also post the few macro minds we watch for that, because you never just make your own opinion. You combine like macro knowledge. You have to watch people who matter and who know what they're doing in this field. You have to learn. This is like you learn macro like all life pretty much. Yes, these correlations. So be careful on FOMC. And again, some scenarios I've shown you today can play out during the FOMC. And to the upside, here are my trade areas to the upside. So very, very choppy here, but again, we traded this really good. More upside targets. Another trade area I'm watching is here, and another much larger where I'll be looking for swing short is here. If we reclaim this area, very likely we go for all-time highs, and then I will be looking for all-time high swing failure pattern, because we have inefficiency here. I have almost no levels here. Plus you will be leaving the this big 6 weeks range. Coming here will also complete the rotation of this range. So this trade area for me is definitely interested. So traders, be careful on FOMC. If you don't have experience trading news events, just don't trade that day. You can just observe the market and just lurk at the very, very good area of interest. If you like the video, you can give it like, subscribe, and I wish you a pleasant trading week, and see you in a few days. Maybe I will update you after FOMC on Thursday. I want to see how it all went, and if I'll be right, we might get top in the market or not. We do FOMC at least intraday, like for few weeks. Yes, maybe we'll be just pump on FOMC is also possible. Yes, just be careful because everybody is so bullish. We have to be careful. Thank you for watching, traders, and bye in the group.